I am Johnny Massacre and welcome to my world. May your stay here be interesting. Tonight, Donald Trump brokered a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Israel and Iran promptly broke that ceasefire by launching missiles at one another. And then Donald Trump expressed his frustration by dropping an F-bomb on the White House lawn. Who is with me? Give me a hell yeah! So we have this video of Donald Trump dropping the F-bomb on the White House lawn, and it's just amazing footage. Have you ever seen anything quite like this?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
Mate, he knew what he was doing. You know he's serious when he drops the F-bomb. Let's do that again. Look at this.
That they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Oh my lord. So I could not believe that. Donald Trump dropping the F-bomb on the White House lawn. Absolutely cuckoo, crackerjack, apple crumble crazy, bruv. And I just absolutely love that video. So you might be wondering exactly what the hell's going on and what prompted that. So you all know the backdrop that Israel attacked Iran because Iran was allegedly building up its nuclear arsenal to use against Israel. And then America helps Israel by taking out Iran's most heavily guarded nuclear facilities, and then Iran launched a few missiles at an American military base in Qatar, but none of them hit their target. After that, Donald Trump negotiated this ceasefire. It was all over social media. Donald Trump negotiates ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Iran actually did agree to that ceasefire on Monday, and Israel also agreed. These were the terms as announced by President Donald Trump on the 23rd of June, 2025. Start time, the ceasefire was set to begin approximately 6 hours after Trump's announcement, which was around 4 a.m. local time in Tehran. The ceasefire was to be implemented in two 12-hour intervals. The first 12 hours, Iran was to start the ceasefire, during which Israel would remain peaceful and respectful. In the second 12 hours, Israel was to start the ceasefire, during which Iran would remain peaceful and respectful. And the end goal was, after the 24-hour period, the conflict would be over. And it was referred to by Trump as the 12-day war. However, at around 7 a.m., which was 3 hours after Trump's announcement, but some hours before the ceasefire was actually supposed to take place, Iran did launch some missiles. So technically they were still able to do it, but it's not the kind of thing you want to do if you actually want peace. And it seems very petty. It seems like on a technicality, Iran hate Israel so much they just wanted to cause a little bit more damage. And Israel obviously hate Iran so much they immediately launched their own attack on Tehran. So it was at 7:06 a.m. that Iran launched one missile towards Israeli territory. And then at 10:25 a.m. 2 more missiles. So tit for tat between Israel and Iran. Donald Trump obviously very, very angry there because he'd already announced the ceasefire and taken credit for it, and that didn't make him look so smart after that. So it was interesting to see Donald Trump so angry against Israel. He always does this with negotiations between benevolent powers and malevolent powers. He basically treats everyone as an equal and tries not to disrespect too much when it comes to the crunch around his usual jesting in the media, because he basically wants to do a deal, and you can't do a deal if you're cussing someone at the negotiation table. So Trump just trying to make some kind of equivalence between Israel and Iran just for the sake of peace. And criticizing Israel for what Trump said was a heavy-handed response, an overreaction to Iran's missile. Trump saying that the missile, or a couple of missiles that were launched by Iran, were probably just a mistake. I don't think Trump really believes that, but he just wanted to try to calm the kids down, not blame any one of them, and just say, let's get this over with, because really Trump does want peace. Another interesting thing about Trump's negotiation tactics is that he can do extreme things like drop massive ordnance penetrator bombs on a country, and then afterwards he can kind of he can totally change his character and then acts as if nothing had ever happened, as long as he gets what he wants. So dropping these massive missiles on Iran and then say, look, Iran, you know, thank you very much for coming to the table and thank you for peace, and let's just all get on with it, after their essentially their living room has been flattened by these bombs. So Trump, he has this kind of angel devil persona. If you don't do what he wants, he'll turn into a devil and destroy you, and then as soon as you start playing ball, he'll turn into an angel and act like nothing's happened, as long as he gets what he wants. So he's obviously doing that here. This whole sequence of events has made me believe that Trump does not want regime change in Iran, and this has nothing to do with America kind of going over there or getting the oil or any of that stuff. If it were, I think Trump would be far more belligerent and far more bellicose in his comments and far more militaristic. He obviously wants this to end. If he didn't want it to end, then he wouldn't be talking down on Israel. He'd be talking up Israel, and he'd use Iran's breaking of the ceasefire as a pretext to do a regime change or continue to attack Iran. So I think Trump just does want peace. All he wanted to do is get rid of the nukes. Trump has said consistently over decades that Iran cannot get a nuclear weapon. And if you contrast that with the Democrats who used to say that but changed their mind later, then you have to say that Trump has integrity here. And Occam's razor, simplest explanation is he just didn't want such an evil regime who's been chanting death to America for decades to have a nuclear bomb. So there you go. Trump brokered a peace deal between Iran and Israel. Iran apparently broke it at the 11th hour, and then Israel responded, and now Trump is trying to stop it from escalating. And it seems like for now nothing is really happening, and hopefully we will get this ceasefire and we can just get back to normal. I'm Johnny Massacre, and if you're just joining us, we're discussing Trump dropping an F-bomb on the White House lawn in response to Israel and Iran breaking a ceasefire agreement. But if you have been watching from the beginning, then stop your grinning and drop your linen, donate some cash, and let's keep winning. You can donate via the currency symbol in the YouTube window next to the chat box, and I very much appreciate that. And of course I will read all your messages and donations out live. So what a crazy week of news, really, Massacre mates. Absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. It's so funny, this chain of events, because Trump said the ceasefire was set to begin approximately 6 hours after his announcement. The announcement was 4 a.m. in Tehran, so that means it was supposed to start at 10 a.m. But Iran launched a missile at 7 a.m., so technically the ceasefire wasn't over. And then they launched the other missiles just after 10, which was when the ceasefire was supposed to start. But then Trump said it will begin approximately 6 hours afterwards. So Iran, knowing they can't beat Israel and needing some propaganda that they can use to further brainwash their populace, just shot off a missile right at the end as the door was closing, like in Indiana Jones, where Indiana Jones puts his hand under the door to grab his hat. Israel just shot one last missile. Iran just shot one last missile or couple, and then Israel had to respond. Really interesting there, seeing Donald Trump criticize Israel and say they were way too heavy-handed. It was one of the heaviest attacks yet that he's ever seen, and saying it's totally unnecessary. It seems all along Trump just wanted to get rid of that nuke. And if this ceasefire does hold, and I believe it will hold, this is an amazing achievement by the Trump administration. It totally destroys Obama's legacy regarding his handling of Iran. Do you remember he gave them billions of dollars, and it was supposed to help them get safe nuclear energy and not build a bomb, and all they did was build a bomb. Trump, in one fell swoop, took out all of Iran's nuclear facilities capable of enriching uranium and didn't start a war. and did it in a week. Unbelievable. If this holds, it's going to be one of the greatest achievements by a president in living memory. I mean, nothing comes close to this. It could have started a world war potentially. China are not jumping in. If anything, China are on America's side because Tehran threatened to close a very lucrative and important trade route that mostly benefits China. So just absolute boss move by Trump. And the balls on this guy is insane. Everyone else is pussyfooting around, afraid of what might happen, and just letting our enemies grow stronger. Trump has conviction, he has beliefs, he has consistency. I believe this ceasefire will hold. Israel are much safer. The world is much safer. However you look at it, Iran doesn't have a nuclear bomb, and Iran, that the regime is not your friend. They chant death to America. They're always chanting about dropping nuclear bombs on their neighbors. They're the world's #1 sponsor of terrorism. They got so many terrorist proxies. They're just an awful regime. And if you look at videos of Iran before and after the current regime, it's like day and night, bruv. Respectively, Iran are just have an awful regime that oppress their people and make their lives rather terrible. And so, what an achievement potentially by Donald Trump here. I love it. And you can see there what it's all about. He's pissed off with both sides for not doing what he wants, just giving us peace. And this is another thing I love about Trump is that he's honest. You know, he's the most transparent president I've ever seen. You can see from that video what he wants to do. And if you want to know what he's doing, just ask him. He's going to tell you. All the other administrations, so much BS, so many long words and expressions and kind of cookie cutter PR phrases that are given to them by their script writers and whatnot. Donald Trump clearly just wants what's best for America, and he says exactly what he's going to do, and he can't hide what he's doing on the camera. I totally know what his plan was from the beginning here. Get rid of the nuke and increase world stability. There's going to be a bit of short-term pain for a lot of long-term gain. If the ultimate way to fix this situation is to take out Iran's nuclear facilities, and that's what's happened. So let's wait a little bit. This news cycle evolves rather quickly and is ever changing, so we'll give it a few days, but it certainly is exciting. That's the least you can say about it. What do you think about Donald Trump dropping the F-bomb on the White House lawn? What do you think about the ceasefire that he brokered between Israel and Iran? Do you think it's going to hold? Do you think Trump simply wanted to get rid of the nuke, like I believe, and wanted to make the world safer? Or do you think there's a bit of smoke and mirrors going on here? Do you think Trump wanted this and it's going to escalate still further as a pretext for a regime change? I'd like to hear your opinions about it in the comments box below and on the live stream. Please consider becoming a member, aka Massacre Mate. Then you get the key to the Shadow Realm. That means with the gaming streams on this channel, with extended chat and chill on the intro and the outro, and also the private Massacre Mates members only streams, you get full access to all of those. You also get access to special emojis. You can become a Massacre member by clicking join underneath this video on YouTube, and also there is a link in the description box on YouTube. Please consider becoming a Massacre member. Get the key to the Shadow Realm. So there you go, my friends. I hope you're all doing well today. We're going to play some video games in 10 minutes. So when this video ends, you're going to be redirected, at least on YouTube, to the Silent Hill 2 playthrough retro gaming session on PlayStation 2 Part 2. That will be live on this channel. We'll have a bit of a preamble, and then that video will become private and only available to members. You can watch the full gaming stream without the intro and outro chat and chill on the gaming channel known as Massacre the Game. We might change that name to Rock Hard Gaming. So stick around for some retro gaming. I'm very much looking forward to it. Much love, Massacre Mates. Take care and see you very soon. Cheers.